Time for another stock review. This time we are talking Vor Biopharma, ticker symbol VOR. If you're a member of our channel, you can book in a review like this from $5, or what many people are doing now. They're buying our limited edition merchandise, mugs and so on. And that includes not only a mug or a different piece of merchandise, but also includes a video made for you as priority and a technical review with a chart from Sensei. Pretty cool. So someone has booked in this. This is a Vor Biopharma review. It's the first time looking at it. We are making this live. Please do tap the like button if you like this video, and it will share out. I wouldn't be surprised if we rank number one for this stock. We rank number one for most stocks we cover, and this is a very small cap stock. So in this review, we're going to go have a deep dive into it. And I haven't done a review for a while, so I'm completely rusty. I've got a button over here which I press. Where is it? B-roll, medic. There you go, and it brings up stuff like this. Yes, we're going into the laboratory, and we're looking at biopharmaceutical stocks. Always very risky stocks. These ones, people are looking for the opportunity to take a stock to the moon, which is often referred to. However, very, very difficult and very risky stocks indeed. So be very careful if you're trying to make money from these stocks. Shall we get straight into it? In this review, we're going to do lots for you. We're going to cover how it compares to the S&P. If you're going to invest, you've got to know how it compares to the S&P, right? We're going to show you the chart. We're going to look at the latest news, the latest ratings, using premium software that you have to pay for. You get it all free by being a member and getting a review like this. Latest news, what's going on. We'll also take a look at the website and statements directly from the company. And then we'll take a look at the basic line chart and, of course, the intrinsic valuation, who's buying, who's selling on the inside, and all the numbers. So there you go. That's what's coming up. Are you excited? You should be excited because it's the most honest review you're going to get. I only own the S&P 500, and I'm not here to pump and dump stock. I'm just here to bring you the best, most honest news. Captain Aleks, nice to have you here. Where do we go for a stock review? Just bear with me. I'm making a live review right now, and this is going to be its own video later. So stand by. As a member, you can do a super chat, and I'll book a review in for you. The higher the super chat, the quicker you get the review done. Or you can buy one of our mugs and you get it for free, included with extra perks and so on and so forth. Anyway, stand by. I'll repeat it at the end. Biopharma, what is it? Let's start nice and simple, shall we? Let's go on the basic line chart. You can see IPO'd back here in 2021. So it's quite a new stock. It popped on earnings. That was typical at the time. Stocks were popping on earnings like this and then selling off. This is very typical of a biopharmaceutical stock. In fact, any IPO really at that time. But you can see it's dramatically down. Over the last few months, we've seen a bit of a rally. If we go over the year to date, it's up 42%. 1 year, we're looking at down 21%. And as we go down even further, it's all the way down like 95% down. But recently, last few months, it's been doing well. Why has it been doing well? Well, let's discover. And let's start off by looking at the basic information. What is it? Biopharma engages in developing cell therapies for treating cancer. It is a clinical stage cell therapy company that combines a novel patient engineering approach with therapies to provide a single company solution for patients suffering from hematological malignancies. It's always difficult, these biopharmaceuticals. I know it's coming. Malignancies. The company was founded by Aleks, Radovic-Moreno, and Siddhartha. That name rings a bell. Mukherjee. He's probably been on the show, I think. That name does ring a bell. December the 30th, 2015, and headquarters in Cambridge, MA. The listed name is Vor Biopharmaceutical. Now, you need to know that if you are buying this sort of stock, first of all, if I was buying individual stocks, I wouldn't do this because this is very, very, very risky indeed. I think only two people need to be buying biopharmaceutical stocks. Those that really know the science, really know what they're about to do. Are they about to have some breakthroughs, or is it going to collapse? Because remember, these stocks only make money if they succeed on their trials. Things can go wrong very, very quickly, very expensive. However, because of that, the rewards are huge. The upside to these stocks are absolutely huge. Whoever discovers, the cure for cancer and has the money to produce it and not get crushed by somebody who's trying to keep it from appearing, that does happen a lot, by the way, then great. But very, very risky. So you either have to be looking for extremely high risk, high reward stocks where you can make a lot of money from nothing, if you like, and that can happen, or people that really, really know what they're talking about, understand the science. They've got connections at the laboratory. They're talking to the scientists and everyone else. They know what they're doing. Otherwise, if you're just trying to randomly pick stuff, it's very, very difficult. And most people, 95% of day traders lose. Now, if you're going into this sort of stock, it's extremely, extremely difficult to win. So you really need to know your stuff. I wouldn't do this for me. This is not the way I invest at all. CEO Bob Ang. If you want Bob on the show, we have a Meet the CEO series. It's very successful. CEOs love it. It brings their stock to the world, and it always does them very well. And we always rank number one for the stocks that we talk about. So if you'd like Bob on the show, if you are an investor, they want to hear from you, not me. I don't cold call and invite anybody on. What you do is email investor relations, ask them to tell them that you're an investor and you'd like to learn more, and this gives them a voice to the world in 69 countries, and they'll always want to do it. They always call me and say, can I be on the show? So email investor relations, tell them you're an investor, and let's get it moving. All right, 168 employees. As you can see, if you're buying it on margin, 100% maintenance. It's regarded extremely risky, and if you're buying it on margin, you're probably going to get a margin call. It's extremely, extremely risky. Volume, very, very, very low volume, very, very small company indeed. So a lot of our information in our review today is limited because there is not enough. There's no profit. It doesn't make any money. It's speculative at best. It's very hard to determine, the value of this business. Price earnings ratio, negative 99 cents. As you can see there, the lows and the highs. Morningstar is saying it's a buy, but, they're paid to say so, if you like. I don't go off what they say. Hedge funds have been buying it back in Q4 of 23. Nothing much then, but they haven't been selling it either. A little bit of trimming, but that's not nothing at all. That's tax trimming. So nothing there from hedge funds, I beg your pardon. Insiders. Now that is interesting. Insiders recently been buying the stock. You can see recently it's been going up. So insiders are buying. Always nice when the people that work there buy the stock, and they're buying decent numbers too. So that's very, very encouraging. Very, very encouraging indeed. Let's get a bit more color on that. We can see, let's have a look. 10% owner, reprogrammed Interchange. I mean, if I can Interchange LLC. Interest. 10% owner. I'm not sure what that means. CMO, director, 10% owner. I think that's just the name of the company, to be honest. Anyway, president, CEO, director, the CMO. Interesting. Yeah, Robert Ang. Let me scroll back down here. Can I scroll across? Normally I can. Why is that not doing that? Let me go back to there. Insiders. Let me go. Oh, right. Uninformative buy. Okay. Now that's interesting. It's not actually insiders buying with their own real money. It's uninformative buy. Accumulation of shares via grant or award. It's basically then the company as they're receiving stock options and things like that. They're not actually buying it with themselves on the open market, so it's not quite as bullish as it first appears. It's basically paying themselves with grants and awards rather than money, if you like. It's a way to make it look a bit better than it really is. It's not actually as good as you think it is. It's not. They're not just buying it with their own money. It's they're just paying themselves stock options. A similar thing happened with FFIE. FFIE wasn't paying anybody any wages. They just paid each other with stock options. So It looks great when you first look at it, go, wow, the insiders are buying, but not quite the way you think. So that's not actually of any real interest to me, to be honest. Anyway, let's scroll down. What else have we got? Let's scroll down here and see how the earnings is performing. As you can see, it's steadily moving up and they're beating on expectations. The next earnings is March the 20th. If anybody wants me to cover the earnings, if you are a member of our channel and you do a super chat, minimum of $5, I will do up to 4 earnings a day, 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening, as we have 2 different channels. We have a network of channels. So that's interesting. Still not making any money, but certainly moving up in the right direction. If we can beat on earnings, that would be very, very interesting. Now, who else on Robinhood is buying the stock? Gives us an indication of the flavor of the stock and how it will trade. Oxygen, Tonics, Plug Power, Tilray Brands, Nikola, SNDL, Fuel Cell. Okay, so what I'm seeing straight away is all no blue chips, very, very, very low stocks here. Very volatile stocks, sexy stocks, rock and roll stocks, the sort of stocks that Robinhood investors, retail investors like to get involved with, which means shorting, which means volatility. So straight away, it's a very, very risky stock. Just looking at the basics. Right, let's now go a bit deeper into this. If you like this so far, please do tap the like button. Oh, wow, hang on, what we got here? This looks very interesting. Just got a big super chat coming on the screen. We'll come to that in a moment. Let's have a quick look. So first of all, how does it compare to the S&P? Here's the S&P, and if you put $10,000 back in January of 22 in the S&P, you've now got $12,916. You've done okay. All right, you've made a bit of money. Whereas if you put $10,000 in Vor Biopharma, you're down to $955. You've not done very well at all. All right, so you can see the green line, much more volatile, just fell off a cliff, starting to rise now as the S&P is trimming, by the way, worth noting. There you go. So that's interesting to see. So not good there. What about the ratings itself? Seeking Alpha analysts, they're not really covering it at the moment. Don't care if they are. They're just people like me. They're paid to do it as well. It's why I don't do any reviews for Seeking Alpha. Nobody cares about reviews that are paid for, so I don't do it. It's not going to benefit my audience. Wall Street, strong buy. Quant, the AI software, which outperforms the S&P, they're saying a hold. So that looks good. Valuation down from A-, it's B+. Growth is D-, hasn't changed, down slightly. Profitability down slightly, C-. Momentum, A, up from D. And revisions up from C. We've got B. So mixed bag there, nothing too exciting going on. Short interest. Now, interesting, it's so low, you might think that people would short this even more. I know that sounds silly when it's already low, but things can always go down lower. Obviously, no short interest really at all, 1.89 million. No one thinks it's going to go any lower. That's interesting, especially as it's recently just rallied. So it's rallied a little bit recently. If we go back over the last month, it's up 74%. So that's quite interesting to see it rally so much and no short interest. That's quite optimistic, I would say. We just got a review, a super chat come in. I don't know why it didn't show on the screen. Let me share with you. Super chat, Hong Kong $100 from Aleks. Love the reviews and videos you make. Would like to get a stock review of EHang about VTOL. Okay, Captain Aleks, wait till the end of the video. I'm making a video right now and I'll address that for you. Not sure why it didn't come on the screen. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. Anyway, so short interest, nothing there, much really. Forward EPS is negative. You know, the stock is losing money. Not much to talk about at the moment. So let's now look at some news and sentiment. This is out in December 27th, so just over a week ago, a couple of weeks ago. Vor Bio announces 55.6 million private placement. Shares soar, and no short interest to follow it. So that's interesting when we looked at the stocks that people were buying, and no short interest. So this is encouraging. This is encouraging, but again, only buy this if you know the science, you know behind it. If you don't know what they're going to do, and it just looks good, it's a gamble, right? Vor Bio shares soared more than 20% on Friday pre-market trading after it is said that it's entered into security purchase agreement for a private investment in public equity financing, the PIPI PIPE, that is expected to result in gross proceeds of approximately 55.6 million. Pursuant to the terms of the securities purchase agreement, at this closing of the PIPE, Vor Bio will issue an aggregate of 55.9 million shares of common stock and accordingly warrants to purchase an aggregate of 69.84 shares. That explains, by the way, the purchases that we just showed you from the insiders. Common stock and accompanying warrants to purchase an aggregate of 69.84 million shares of common stock at a combined price of 99 cents per share, and accompanying warrants. The warrants will have a per share exercise a price of 83 cents and may be exercised at any time on or after the closing date and through the 7th anniversary of the closing date. If exercised for cash, the warrants would result in additional gross proceeds to Vor Bio of up to approximately 58.5 million. The PIPE was led by new investor Reid Hoffman and included participation from existing investor and Vor Bio's largest stockholder, RA Capital Management. In addition, as part of the PIPE, each of Hoffman or his duly appointed nominee and RA Capital Management are being granted one board seat and one board observer seat. Vor Bio expects to use net proceeds from PIPE PIPE to fund clinical and pre-clinical development of its pipeline candidates and for general corporate purposes. Vor Bio expects to announce updated clinical data from the phase 1/2 VBP301 trial of VCAR33 in the first half of 2025, and the updated clinical data from the phase 1/2 VB101 trial of term cell in combination with Mylotarg in the second half of 2025. Potentially some good news here, at least from the funding point of view. Okay, good stuff. Let's look at the website. Shield the healthy cells, attack the cancer. I'm not going to go in too much here. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I'm just showing you the website so you get a flavor of what this is about already. Anyway, I think we've got a good idea. Go and check out Vor Bio if you want more information. We just talked about this 55.6 million private announcement. This was announced on their website as well. It's a repeat of what I've just said. Also, just out a couple of days ago, in fact, yesterday, Vor Bio appoints life sciences and technology investor and entrepreneur Mr. Erez Kalia to its board of directors. That's happened now. I'll just read you the opening paragraph. A clinical stage cell and genome Gnome engineering company today announced the that's not gnome, is it? What's the word? Gene engineering. I told you biopharmaceuticals is confusing to me. I'm not a doctor or a scientist, right? Today announced the appointment of Mr. Erez Kalia to its board of directors. The appointment represents a new seat on Vor Bio's board of directors, which has been created in connection with the recent private investment in public equity financing, PIPE, which was led by Reid Hoffman, which we've just talked about. So there we go. That's all happened now. Very, very good to see it actually come about. Right. Now then, let's finish this review by looking at the actual balance sheet numbers and so on and so forth. It goes without saying it's extremely risky to buy this company unless you know exactly what it's doing. I don't, and I don't take risk with my money, so it's not for me. This kind of stock is never one for me. I prefer ETFs that cover a basket full of stocks that are in the similar field, cancer research and so on, because only one of them has to explode and the ETF will do well. So if you buy individual companies, it's great if you pick the right one, but without that knowledge, without that inside information, it's extremely risky. Anyway, let's now look at the numbers. Because the company doesn't make any money, there's no intrinsic value. So how do you value a company? You don't. It's speculative. It's like digging for gold at this point. We're panning for gold. We don't know anything. Revenue, nothing to talk about. Operating income, negative. They're spending money. They are improving slightly, but it's not going anywhere at the moment. Net income, up 5%, but still losing money. Nothing to say here at all, is there? Right? Nothing to get excited about. Let's scroll down here and look at the assets. 116 million in assets, 62 million is cash. So nice to have some cash, but again, it's just in a development stage right now. 62 million in cash. What about liabilities? They've got any debt? No, they don't. They've got no long-term debt, no short-term debt. So the balance sheet will be okay. So they're not going to go bust. So basically what you're buying here is them having a breakthrough on the science, all working out fantastic, and all of that's good. All of that's great. However, it's good to know that the company at the moment has some cash. We've got that recent information we just talked about. So they're not going bust anytime soon, but they're not making any money either. If we look at the numbers here, ROE negative 91%, ROA negative 66%, ROIC negative, and ROCE negative as well. So nothing here at the moment. Cash flow going down. Profitability 27%, not making any money. But the balance sheet 57, not amazing, but they're not going bust anytime soon. Media, no one's talking about it in the media. We talked about the inside buying, interesting stuff. So there we go. Let's wrap up this review. It's an interesting one because of the news I've just delivered to you. Recent momentum is good. We've not, Wall Street are giving it a good buy. There isn't any issue with short interest at all. There's also no potential of a short squeeze because there's not enough volume and there's not enough short interest. So I would say if you're buying this, you have to know that you have to know the risks involved. It's extremely risky. You need to do more deep diving into the science. Are they likely to break through? Where their customers are going to come from? But they're not going to go bust. They've certainly got some momentum. They're under the radar. No media is really talking about it. I'm the first one really to cover it, so it'll probably rank on my show. People will start to look at this more, and it could go up from here. So it's one for interest. That's what I'm going to say on this one. It's one for further investigation. Very, very interesting stock. Click above my head for all the links down below in the description. Over here, I shall create a playlist for Vor Biopharma. And so if we get asked to cover the earnings for it, breaking news, there'll be more information as it comes out, and we might start ranking for the stock. And down here I'll put my full alpha spread playlist, which includes all of the stocks I've reviewed, over 200. Also, if you look below in the description and pin to the comments, you will find my links to Alpha Spread and Seeking Alpha, where you get free trials, discounts, and so on and so forth to all the software that I've been using, which is all premium software which you pay lots of money for. You get access to it, free trials and discounts and all the rest of it. That's it from me. Thank you very much indeed for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this. Until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other.